Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate.
Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're here talking all things real estate. And if you guys ever get to see the outtakes, this one was a pretty funny one actually. So, hey, we're doing part 2 of our episodes with Tyler and with Supplement King and how we got here, how he got here as part of our inspirational pieces. So if you haven't seen part 1, I would encourage you to take a minute and go and watch that right now. And again, Tyler, thank you for letting us come in. And we started early today, so just so you all know, we're here. What are your normal hours of operation?
Yeah, so we're 9:30 till 9 through the week.
Yeah.
And then our weekends are on Saturday 9:30 to 6. Sunday is 10 to 6.
So, I should say this, and I'm not saying this just because we're shooting here. I say this because I get supplements here as well, is if you're looking for a great place to go for supplements, Tyler's right here in Uptown, easy to find, lots of parking, all that good stuff. So, but let's continue on from there. Part 2.
So we
left off. We're in Edmonton
as a manager of 4 Supplement King stores.
Correct.
Yeah. And you're finding that to be like a big load on your plate right now.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And as of today, I think there's 10 locations in and around the city of Edmonton.
In Edmonton.
So it really is awesome what kind of like has taken place there. Love the city of Edmonton. Still an Oilers fan.
Go Oilers!
Right?
Even though we're golfing.
Yeah. But yeah. So then it was 2019, the end of the year. It was just after the holidays. I got everything together and started my journey to move here to Victoria.
Super.
Yeah. So I'd left. I went down to Banff to do some snowboarding because that.
This is the in-between break.
Yeah. I was like, you know what?
I need a vacation.
If I'm driving from Edmonton to Victoria, there's a lot of like top-notch resorts that I'd like to go snowboarding at.
Fun opportunity.
Sunshine or Lake Louise?
Both. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Markway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I ultimately though ended up having a full, like the original plan was I was going to take like a month or so, right, to kind of like do that trip, right? I saved up a little bit of money. I wanted to take a little bit of time off, and I had the time because this location wasn't necessarily like fully like ready to start construction, right?
Oh, so definitely there's a delay, but you know it's opening now.
Oh yeah. It's like it's confirmed, and so I left, and as everyone is aware, like that March, like everything just.
Yeah, I remember all the John Horgan announcements and Bonnie Henry.
Yeah.
You can only have this many people in a room, then this many people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly escalated.
Yeah. So, like, I'll say, fortunately though, like with Supplement King, it did fall underneath kind of that grocery store umbrella.
Okay.
So these stores across Canada never fully closed.
Oh, that's amazing. That's lucky.
Right? Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say they never fully closed. I'm sure at one point they were closed because everything was. But they were mandated to like online orders, things of that nature, right? Reduced hours and all that. But of course, it left us in a position here with this location with like what's next.
But the gyms were closed.
Well, that's it. Like
assuming many people that are your customers also have gym memberships.
Yeah. And we were kind of still like a little bit in negotiation with Uptown here in regards to the lease, and what ended up happening is the Fitness World Steve Nash like closed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And you guys were supposed to be in there, right?
No, well this was always the location here, but for us, like, this lease, like that's like kind of a big pillar for this lease.
Right, that would be the anchor for you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The traffic.
The anchor is the word I was looking for. Yeah. So
I'm here to help out.
Yeah. You guys in real estate, you guys know. So yeah, Fitness World Steve Nash being our anchor, they completely closed, and obviously ended up reopening as just Fitness World, um, and thankfully, right? But there was a point where like if they closed and never reopened, we were
Then what?
then what? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was kind of like a lot of question marks, a lot of does this make sense? As obviously a lot of locals here will know, like there was once a supplement store in this very space that opened and failed, and
Right. So that doesn't look good.
with the gym. So now we're coming to a space that someone's already failed in without a gym. It's like it really like it starts playing on the mind.
Yeah.
Because
And I think the other thing too, like you mentioned, you're not just coming here for a job. You're coming here as the owner,
yes,
right?
yes,
So now we had an episode we did talking about the pros and cons of business ownership, and one of the things we talked about is that you as the owner, the buck stops with you, right?
correct. Yeah, at that point I was, I mean, financially invested,
Yeah.
right, and interest rates were low, which is nice, but
For a
still,
while. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but there's still the question of like, oh my God, I just, it's, maybe the equivalent would be like I just paid for university for X amount of years and then the university closed.
Your chips are on the table.
Yes,
So
chips
how
are
did
on the
you,
table.
how did you manage that stress?
That's a great question.
Right.
I
You
try
get,
to stay.
You get here. You're waiting. Can't be skiing the whole time.
No, that was honestly one of the real bummers is I never did get to go to Revelstoke or some of the other places I had
Okay.
on the map. So I will go to Revelstoke one of these days.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a bucket list for me. But I should say go to Revelstoke to snowboard. I've been there before, obviously. But yeah. So what was the question?
How did you manage the stress with
Oh,
COVID and not sure like this is going to be a successful location
yeah.
with gyms closed?
Honestly, at points probably not well.
Right, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking like the 10 years leading up, see that in the first part of the interview, the 10 years leading up to this, you're setting goals. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a straight trajectory to owning your own store, but now you're almost there,
Yeah.
and it's almost like it's going to get
It-
pulled out from under you. That's probably how it feels at that time.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
is this going to work?
Yeah, I think ultimately, like the stress was certainly there, but I would like to be honest and transparent and say, like, I was still fairly bullish on the business because we are in an industry where health and fitness is our primary point of view, and like we're here to help with people's goals. We're here to kind of like make the average Canadian healthier or fitter or better. And the thing is with our e-commerce we had in place prior,
Hmm.
that was definitely a good peace of mind. And I knew I had a little bit of sympathy for the restaurant owners or potentially the people who are just trying to open their own gym,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
maybe some of those more vulnerable businesses to the pandemic versus like Supplement King really never closing, right? If anything, seeing a little bit, not necessarily a spike in sales, but seeing a little bit more of an awareness for, maybe the immune system or just like your health in general, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Given that COVID might have brought more people to be aware or take action with their health.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
And Victoria, the West Coast, tends to be more physically active, right?
Oh,
Our
yeah.
beautiful outdoors,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
so,
yeah, no.
so there were some things working for you, but
Mhm.
man, COVID was a huge unknown, and Steve Nash, gym, not being there anymore.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's interesting too because when we look at this space, negotiating leases and you're looking at different clauses and things of that nature. But now what happens is, we open this location, we have success, we open store number 2 in Nanaimo, and in Nanaimo there's a clause in place now for things of like, if the anchor closes because of a nationwide pandemic, like the lease will be discounted or something of that nature, right?
It's
So-
all written into contracts now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
gone through a lot of the same
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
so commercial real estate has changed forever. But prior, like we didn't have anything in our lease to say like, if the Steve Nash closed because of a pandemic or whatever. Like that was it. Like it was kind of like,
Yeah.
it was an experience. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay, so now we're in the middle of COVID. You're here.
Mhm.
So you've opened the business, yes?
Yeah, so we opened, like I said, 2019 at the end was when I left, and we opened here March 2021.
Right at the time, yeah, John Horgan would be making announcements.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think my timeline's right.
Yep. Okay. So
Yep.
now take us from there to here, because now, obviously,
It's
everything
2023.
20
Mhm.
yeah, everything's back to normal in
Yep.
terms of, traffic through here and so forth and those kind of things.
Yep.
But take us through that, because there's going to be some challenging times in that time too, right?
Yeah, we opened here, and in March, where everyone was wearing masks,
Hmm.
right? And which is fine, but that summer, they in BC closed all gyms again.
Yeah, my
Right.
wife was working at the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that was.
Yeah.
12 weeks,
Mm.
something,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, no, I don't quite remember, but it was interesting because they closed all the gyms, and then that's our sales dipped, obviously, right?
course.
Sure.
And so it was again trying to work around those issues, but ultimately we just like kind of pivot, and like at that point in time, we had no control. It's not like we were gonna do anything about it.
Right.
Oh, they just closed the gyms. Well, it is what it is, and
Yeah.
I
So do you just, at that point, are you just like, look, we just need to stay the course?
think yeah.
Yeah. Is that
I
kinda-
like that there was an e-commerce component to all of this as well, right?
Yeah,
That
like
helps.
yeah.
You have some backing.
yeah, for Something King Home Office, they really invested,
Hmm.
and I think it was for them like at the point in time a large investment, but it's one of those things where it's like, should we have done that? And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So now jump ahead to today. What's
Mhm.
happening now? How's everything going here, and what's it like?
Yeah, no, yeah, we bounce ahead to 2023, and things are going great, right?
Awesome.
Um, Location in Victoria here. We have a location in IMO. We have a great customer database. We have a great team of staff, constantly practicing like the fundamentals of business, and trying to get out there in the community too.
I know a lot of people in the past 2 years, I'm thinking a lot in construction, but we've seen the shelves for the groceries been empty before, or
Mm.
run out of toilet paper or something like that. Have
Mhm.
you got has Supplement King had any supply chain issues?
Oh, of course, yeah,
Just
yeah,
like everyone else.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
If you're watching this and you're into health and fitness, and into the gym lifting weights, you definitely had heard of like the creatine shortage, or like the spike in cost of protein and things of that nature. So
Yeah.
definitely over the last 2 years, it's things that like people in the industry who have been in the industry for like 20 and 30 years, they've never even experienced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of different
Right.
things. So
And I think the one thing too that, and good for all of our viewers to understand also, and I think for those of you that you have a dream of owning your own business one day, starting your own business, and we did also a segment with Corbin and talking about Ugly Duckling Provisions, where he opened his restaurant in downtown Victoria, and I think we did a follow up to that. I don't know if we've aired that yet,
It's cut. Yeah.
you'll see.
You'll see it
We
before
went back.
this one comes up. I
Yeah,
think.
well, so you'll see that one where the restaurant's all open now and everything's done, because when we went through there before, it was mid-construction. But I think for all of those people that you're like, hey, I have a dream to own a business. Yours at 19, you got that inside of you. Corbin, he was 7 years old when
Yeah.
when he got that inside of him. But I think the thing that for me, just to see from all of this, is it wasn't just a straight curve, right? It was up and down and up and down. But because you knew where you were going, at least it was up and down in the direction of,
Yeah.
of that dream,
Yeah.
of that vision, right?
yeah, up, down, sideways, backwards,
Right.
forwards for sure. Yeah, every
But-
direction.
I want to follow up on in part one, we were talking about personal training
Yes.
and your hours that you have to commit to be there for all your clients,
Mm-hmm.
and you really didn't have like that life balance. And then moving to, well, I'm skipping a few parts,
Yeah.
but we picked up again at the beginning of this episode. You're in Edmonton. You're
Mhm.
a manager of 4 stores.
Mhm.
Your plate's pretty full at that point.
Mhm.
So how's your life balance now?
Better, actually, probably the best it's been in the last 7 years, I think.
That's
ultimately.
amazing.
Yeah.
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 Right, because typically, like, if you're that might have not been the same, like exactly the same when you open the store,
Yeah.
but after
Yeah.
a couple years, 2.5 years.
Yeah, yeah, and I will like definitely like a little shout out like to the team, my business partner John. He's extremely solid and kind of like someone I look up to,
Okay.
a mentor of some sort, you would say. But me and him, obviously partners in this business in Nanaimo. Our GM in Nanaimo, Kennedy, she's solid. So like having a good like kind of support system and team definitely helps.
Yeah.
Because maybe that wasn't something I had in the past. And I think too, like it's funny, yeah, when you look when I was personal training, it was that schedule that really bugged me. You know, going to the gym for 12 hours and getting paid for 7. That kind of irked me, right? But
You worked out in between.
yeah, oh well, yeah, for hours. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but now like fast forward my role now, it's really no different. Like a lot of times I'm here for a set amount of hours, and sure I don't necessarily get like paid maybe per hour, but like that's not
Yeah.
necessarily how I look at things now. And
Yeah.
it's more or less for me, it's like trying to like just work hard and know like it's different where working at the gym.
So there is
Is-
a shift from like
Yeah.
an hourly rate mentality
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
you're
be
the
like, I'm not valued by the per hour rate that I
Yeah.
charge
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah, because now you're growing the business and the brand and everything else, right? And everything you do is not to get a paycheck and leave,
yeah,
but you're here because you're the driver,
yes, yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I think too, like even looking back to the PT, and I think it would have been in 2011 or 12 when I first started, and to see how that kind of industry has evolved to really
Okay.
incorporate online now is interesting. So it's completely different. I mean, to say like PTing back then versus 10 years later, that whole industry has really evolved too. So it's cool like trying to pay attention to things how are changing, even with this business here, like our e-commerce, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this to say a brick and mortar is dead, like Amazon's going to take over. I don't agree, but it's always like trying to stay on top of like the ever evolving.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a part 3, but I was thinking like cutting edge technology.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna get into a lot of detail. I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah,
Minutia,
I know.
Yeah.
Minutia, and
Yeah.
we're here really looking for inspirational stories for
Yeah.
people's, thinking about starting up their own
Yeah.
business if they were
Mm.
7 years old
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
19 years old to
Yeah.
own your own store,
Yeah.
right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
So, for those of you that are watching, like we said, if you want to see any of the other videos, go through and you'll find them. Whether it's Patrick doing the, which one did you do? The
I did a walkthrough at my listing in Cordova Bay.
no,
But
yeah,
you're-
but the business one. I'm trying to remember the name. The hair place.
Oh, Sophia Pastro's
Luster of
Luster
Pearl.
of Pearl.
Luster of
There
Pearl.
we go. Thank
So
you.
you can see Patrick where he spent some time there. We did some time up in Mill Bay with Mill Bay Paint and Hardware. We did our interview with Corbin with Ugly Duckling Provisions, and of course this one. But those are great inspirational tools to just get you focused. If you have a dream about doing something, about starting to take some steps and moving in the direction of those dreams and start to pursue it. And so that's, like we said, this is why we're doing this segment and these pieces. But that's kind of it for our time today. If there is a part 3, you'll see it after. Because we are also on a schedule because soon the doors have to open. It's
The store's
interesting.
opening.
It's interesting. Tyler said, "Oh, I'm going to lock this door because people will walk in without checking the time that we actually open." And not 2 minutes later, somebody came and pulled on the door.
Yes.
So we would have had a fourth person in here for the
Yeah.
for the video today. So thank you all for joining us. Appreciate your time, Tyler. Thank you for having
Hey,
us and taking time to be
of
with us
course.
today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming
Yeah,
in.
it was great meeting you, chatting with you.
I could talk. I could keep it going, but maybe we'll get something
We,
together.
we'll do a follow-up one.
Talk
Yeah.
about
We
running
do,
or
yeah.
something next time.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah.
training or whatever we
Training,
want.
yeah.
We can do
Yeah.
a training one.
Yeah,
So,
like I'm doing the half marathon this weekend, so I will touch
Nice.
on that.
Best
Sweet.
wishes to keep you injury free,
Yeah.
or if you are a little sore,
Oh,
to
like
recover quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like very likely. Same
Right.
as your bicep.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, right. So,
Fun.
and we left it with that too. If you want to come in and see Tyler and come and see the store, they are located in Uptown Mall. And give them your hours again, one more time.
Yeah, so we're located at 3680 Uptown Boulevard, right next to the Browns and the Foxy Box. Our hours are 9:30 until 9, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, it's 10 to 6, more or less. So
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you all for joining us.
Catch you in the next episode.
And we'll see you next time.
all right,
See ya.
bye.